Hello and welcome to this episode of the Skip Meetings podcast, the podcast for curious event professionals embracing the future of business events. My name is Andrea Doyle and I am the executive editor of Skip Meetings. In this episode titled Nashville Blooms with Music and Conventions, I have the pleasure of speaking with Deana Ivey, President and CEO of the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation. We discuss some great topics including the importance of branding, how Deana is no stranger to producing mega events, how influencers can help a destination, and how Nashville is a city that plays big. I hope you enjoy listening to this conversation, and I invite you to check out other episodes of the Skip Meetings podcast with tips and insights from today's most influential event professionals. You can find all the episodes on our website or by subscribing through your favorite podcast service. So if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, that would be a great way to get started.
Okay, Deana Ivey, President and CEO of the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corp.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. And you have been with the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corp since 1997. When did you become the CEO? And can you share with us a bit about your journey to the top?
Sure, yeah. I actually just became CEO July 1st, so it's new.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, I'm going on my 26th year, so it's new but not new. I started as the first marketing person here, which is pretty funny to think about now. My title was actually Director of Internal Marketing, whatever that means. We were trying to figure it out at the time, and it was to promote all of our attractions and cross promote the attractions with each other. And the first thing I did, it was a combo ticket that we sold. You know, it was called Pick Three, and it had about 10 attractions on it. You pick three for a low price, and it is still going on today. And we make several hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on that ticket. So I guess that internal marketing title worked. But I went from there to just taking over different parts of the organization, or starting in internal creative department. We do everything in-house, all the creative, and then started an events department, and we do big events. We produce New Year's Eve and 4th of July for the city, which are huge, and about 150 other events throughout the year. And then we started membership. So I just kept either adding on or taking on different responsibilities, and ended up becoming the CMO for most of the time, and with a department of almost 50 people in marketing, because marketing covered everything that sales didn't, basically. And went from CMO to executive vice president and then president last year for about a year and a half. I was president before I became CEO.
Wow, that's great. And you said, so you helped plan events, New Year's Eve and 4th of July celebrations being two of them. So you really have understanding of what goes into planning an event. So
yes, big events. I mean, they draw about 300,000 people a year. And like 4th of July, it's live music all day and night, and then the largest fireworks show in the country. And it's on television, so it's huge. And then New Year's Eve has now become a CBS special just on Nashville, and it's 5 hours. So we're going into our third year of that. So we've grown those events to be really successful and great visitor generating events.
And would you attribute those events to some of the success Nashville has had, because it really does put Nashville in the spotlight?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the PR from them is huge. Word of mouth, of course, because people, they get here and they start posting about it. The talent that we have, they're locals. We always say they're local talent, but, they're national celebrities too. We're fortunate that way. that the music that we have here is well known. But yeah, it's really helped. It's helped. I mean, we sell about from 25,000 to 30,000 hotel rooms for each event. So they're big generators for us. Visitor spend is pretty high.
And you mentioned the local talent who are a national celebrity. So they almost become influencers for Nashville, don't they?
They do. Yeah, we always laugh. People will say, we need to hire some influencers. I'm like, we have a city of influencers. I mean, that's who lives here, and they all have great social media and great reach. And they love Nashville. They talk so, kindly of Nashville and promote Nashville when they don't even realize they are. They're just talking about how much they love their hometown.
Oh, that's great.
So, yeah, we're very fortunate that way. Like Saturday night, we had a big soccer game, and Reese Witherspoon and Nicole Kidman were there, and they were posting about it. They were together, and they were posting about it. And we're like, that's great PR for us.
Oh, wow.
It makes people go, oh, I want to come to Nashville and go to a soccer game. I might see them.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. So there are some people that wouldn't understand exactly what Convention and Visitors Corporation does. So my question is, how do you explain to friends and family what you do?
It's not easy. People don't really get it if you're not in the industry. Like even my son is sometimes he will say, Mom, what do you do? I mean, sometimes you're producing a documentary and sometimes you're doing a big, fireworks event, and sometimes you're talking to the police about, things going on in the city. It's like, I don't understand what your job is. I'm like, well, that's it, a little bit of everything. So, in a nutshell, we always say we are the kind of the ad agency for the city. So we promote the city, everything sales and marketing to do with Nashville. It comes out of our organization. So we book conventions, we attract leisure visitors, do all the advertising, all the marketing, kind of the keepers of the Music City brand.
Okay. And the Music City brand is such a success story. I was hoping you could touch upon that.
Yeah, the brand, we started in about 2004. We did a strategic plan where we had about 150 business leaders involved. And a lot of things had happened in Nashville. Like our biggest attraction had closed. It was Opryland Theme Park, and it had closed. And the honky tonks were starting to attract visitors. So we were kind of in this space where we didn't really know how to promote the city or, what we're known for. And we don't have beaches, we don't have mountains, we don't have the casinos, we don't have all those things that attract visitors. So we went through this strategic plan, and one of the tracks was branding. And as we were going through it, we talked about, what is Nashville really known for? Because when you're doing destination marketing, you have to think about what makes you different, what's your differentiator. And music is what we're known for. And as we were digging into the history, we had a historian, actually a local historian, write our brand story for us. And it's very, it goes very deep, and it goes back to the 1800s when the Fifth Jubilee Singers out of the historic Black University, they were the first to export music from Nashville, and they went around the world, and they were raising money for the school, and they would go out and sing. And that was kind of the first thing out of here. And the legend has it that the Queen of England, they sang for her. She said, "Oh, you're from that Music City." So that's a legend, but we go by it. And as we were writing our story, we just kept finding more and more great nuggets. And so we just put a stake in the ground that we are Music City. Not only do we have the history, but we have the music business here. We have the talent that lives here. Like we have more recording studios, more publishing houses, all those things that make up a great Music City. And just started branding ourselves that way, promoting ourselves that way. And it's been 20 years and we're still doing it. And it's really what makes us stand out.
Wow, that's amazing. And so, Nashville is one of the top meetings destinations in North America. Do you attribute that image and the fact that it's a destination people want to visit to that?
Yeah, I think it's a combination. Um, you like to have meetings in places that people want to go, I believe, and because your delegates will show up, they will want to attend the meeting if it's in a good destination. And Nashville's a great visitor destination, but we're also really fortunate to have two options for big conventions. So you have Gaylord, which is more of a resort, everything's under one roof. A lot of planners, a lot of attendees love that. And now in the last 10 years, we have our urban center, which is Music City Center, beautiful building downtown, close to everything, walking distance. So having those two great options has really helped elevate us to CVent named us the second meetings destination in the country this year, which was amazing. We've been sixth, then we were fifth, and now we're number two, which is incredible.
Wow. And was the new center a game changer?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a game changer. And all the hotel development around it, it's all popped up because of the center. A lot of the new great chef-driven restaurants have popped up because of the center. A lot of development. So it's been a game changer for sure. Helped us attract more conventions, not just there, but also to Gaylord. A lot will go and rotate, go to one and then they'll go to the other a couple years later. So that's been good for us too.
So, you just became CEO and you're one of a few women who head up a CVB. Why do you feel women are still underrepresented in the C-suite?
I hope that going forward, more women will have a seat at the table. It's one of those things that when we stop having to ask or answer that question, it will be like, okay, we finally made it, because It's still a question. It's still like a great thing. I mean, it'll always be a great thing for having women leading organizations, but you just hate it that that's still, a question. And if our organization is any indication, I have 8 direct reports and 6 are women. And I love that. They're great and they get things done.
So you have received the National Business Journal Women in Music Award and the Women in Business Award by Nashville Lifestyle, to name just 2. What do these recognitions mean to you?
They mean a lot. And music being our brand, it shows that tourism and music are linked together. And I feel like getting that award, it shows we've done a really good job of using music and using the music industry and all the things here to help promote tourism. I never thought I would have, this kind of career and be able to promote this vibrant city. I always thought I'd be an entertainment lawyer. So in some ways it's kind of come full circle, because I'm promoting and working with the entertainment industry. And it's been great to have a city like this to, be with the CVB and be able to promote it and just all the wonderful things with music. So yeah, that award means a lot. And then the Women in Music Award, the Women in Business Award, it's also a validation that the hospitality industry is a driving force in Nashville. It used to be like the music industry and the business community and then tourism. And now it's all one. We're all business community. We're all basically all tourism too. They just don't realize it sometimes.
How long have you lived in Nashville?
25 years, going on 26 years. I came for the job.
Wow. And you were with the CVB?
Yes, in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, which is the Smoky Mountains, one of the most visited national park in the country. So a lot of visitors. Actually, when I came here, Gatlinburg had more visitors than Nashville.
Wow.
And I did tourism marketing up there and then ended up running the Chamber of Commerce up there.
And is that where you're from originally?
No, I'm from Kentucky originally, but not too far from here. I spent every summer in Nashville, had family here, and would come down and actually spent time at the Opryland theme park, the one that ended up closing. And it closed 6 months after I came here for the job. and being in tourism marketing, I'm like, okay, wait, what just happened? Our biggest attraction just closed. And that's what I came to help promote. So that was interesting.
Oh my gosh. What attributes and or qualities have you developed that have helped you become successful?
I think courage is a big one. You have to have courage to lead. You have to have courage to put yourself out there. Um, that's a big one. Listening is huge. I think you can't lead people if you don't listen and pay attention to what they need and what they're looking for. So both of those things.
How
And
many are
it's, you get better over time with experience.
how many are on your team?
Close to 90.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
close to
what attributes or qualities have you developed to become a successful leader?
I mean, I'd say the same things,
Okay.
courage, being a good listener, being attentive, having good intuition. I think
Mhm.
you have to have really good intuition and kind of anticipate things and address things before they happen.
What is the one thing people would be surprised to learn about you?
Probably that I'm an extroverted introvert. I can be a little bit shy at sometimes, or maybe more, to myself at times, a little more private, but very outgoing at the same time.
Oh, that's a great combo.
Thank you.
Is there anyone who mentored you early in your career or helped you to become the type of leader that you have become? And also, I was curious who's had the biggest influence on your life?
So let's see, a couple things. Mentor would be my very first job out of college. The highest ranking official was the city manager. It was a female, and she was great. She was nice as could be, but tough as nails. I should say is. She's still there. And she included me and respected me way more than I deserved because I just started. I was green, didn't know anything. And she was always so supportive and so interested in what I was doing and asked my opinion in meetings. And I've never forgotten that. And I try to treat people the same way, especially some of the younger ones in, our organization or other organizations that are coming to meetings, just so they know that, their opinion matters and they're valued. So that was huge influence and very helpful. And then there's been a couple of people that have really made a difference. My sister's one. I have an older sister. I have two older sisters, and they're great. One was more career driven, and she kind of paved the way for me.
Oh,
Watched her a lot and learned a lot from her. Learned a lot from our former CEO, Butch Spearden. He was great. I've worked with him 25 years and one of the smartest marketers out there. So I've learned so much from him and really appreciated, how he trained me and set me up for this job.
so there's so many destinations that look to Nashville as a way to do it. And I mean, you have all the ingredients in place for successful conventions. Do you feel marketing has been a big help?
Huge help. Huge help. We always say that marketing is like the starting pitcher and sales is the closing. They come in and seal the deal. But if you don't have marketing to set it up and make your destination attractive or show people what you have to offer, I mean, it's hard to sell. It's hard to go out there just on your own. So yeah, marketing is a huge part of it.
And then I guess like we talked about, the Music City brand has helped a great deal as well.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we live and die by it. And it's all about the brand is not just music. It's about being authentic and being a welcoming city, being a friendly city. We've been named one of the friendliest cities in the country year after year. All those things are part of the brand. I mean, in our brand promise, we say, we're unique, we're friendly, we're unpretentious. all those keywords are authentic. They're very important to us. And anything that we're doing, we look at it through that lens of the Nashville way. I mean, we can have a host of events, but if they're just any event that can go to any city, you cover up the logo and it's the same, that doesn't mean anything. But if you can do it where it's the Nashville way, and we always try to put our stamp on it.
Oh, that's great. What's new in Nashville for groups?
Oh, a lot of new things, a lot of new product, a lot of new hotels. I mean, we've opened 6,400 rooms in the last few years. We have 2,000 more to come. A lot of luxury product that we didn't have before, like Four Seasons just opened. We have a Ritz-Carlton that is about to break ground. We have Joseph, a One Hotel, some really great hotels. We have a new National Museum of African American Music. And some people will say, wow, why is that Nashville? And it's like, well, it's where the music's coming from. So we were working on that for about 20 years. And then it finally opened, and it's a fantastic museum.
And do they
do restaurants? Do
they do offsite events at the museum?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great museum for events. Has a little theater in it.
Do you feel there's ever going to be a point where you have too much tourism and too many convention groups? Like, is that a balancing act?
We'll have too many groups. We have a lot of demand, and we don't have enough dates or space for them. So we'd like to have a bigger center, honestly. Sometimes you see these destinations that talk about over tourism or too much tourism. I don't like that word, over tourism. I think manageable tourism is important. And that's one thing we're working on, is managing our growth. We've had explosive growth. So we want to manage it and have, continue to have a safe destination, a clean destination. All those things are important. And what I keep saying is our locals and our visitors want the same thing. They want a clean, safe place to go with lots of great attractions and restaurants and, nice places to visit.
Okay, great. What do you feel the future holds for the meetings and conventions industry?
It's interesting. We've been talking a lot about AI and how that can change things. I was just at US Travel, and one of the guys that spoke, he talked about how AI is important, and it's if you're not on board, you're going to be behind. So you have to embrace it, but you're still you're the captain of the ship. Like, AI can help, but you don't want it to take the place of, say you're checking in a hotel. You still want a friendly person, a friendly face. You don't want it to take over. It can help. You can have an app, you can check in online, but you still want to have the people in the lobbies to welcome people and, things like that. So I think we have to be careful as an industry not to, make everything where it's automated.
Right.
We don't want to lose that personal touch.
And that's why face-to-face becomes even more important.
Yes. That's why we continue to say how, meetings is so important in person. You can have Zooms like we're having, but you just don't have that connection when you can't get together sometimes.
Right.
And I think we're seeing that too with the conventions returning, and the attendance is strong, and people are longing for that.
Is your convention business back?
Yes, it is. And it's very healthy.
Oh, great. So it seems Nashville has always aimed bigger and better. And it seems you're a city that's always played bigger because of the music and the celebrities. Mm-hmm. Do you agree with that?
Yes, and thank you for recognizing that. We've always strived to be in, a top tier destination, or a play with the A destinations. We're not as big, but we're as fierce and scrappy, I guess you should say. Nashville's always worked really hard to, deliver and under promise and over deliver. That's our strategy, and it's worked for us.
And I guess it was the icing on the cake being named number 2 by Cvent.
Absolutely. It's like, okay, this is fantastic. Now, how do we get to number 1? We're very competitive that way.
Have you learned a little bit more about the events industry by planning events in your role in the marketing?
Oh, yes, absolutely. You think about all the things that go into events. I mean, there's so many elements, so many details, how important it is. So when you're thinking about a convention, you want to make the meeting planner's job easier than it is, because it's not an easy job at all. And I mean, we all know that, but we really know it because we do those same kind of details with our events. So anything we can do as a CVB to make a meeting planner's job easier, we're going to do it. Whether it's helping them plan their transportation out or their offsite events. We do a lot of events for conventions just to make it easier for them. We book talent for them. There's a number of ways that we can help to make it a successful convention.
Anything I haven't asked you about the meetings and conventions industry that you think would be interesting for our listeners?
Things that, one, make it easier for you, like I said, the CVBs, but also the experiences. What can your delegates do when they're not meeting that are different and fun, and not just going to a few attractions, but what can the attractions do to give you that special experience? And Nashville delivers on those kind of experiences.
Okay, great. So we always end our podcast by asking who you feel we should have on the next one, and what would be one of the questions we should ask?
Wow. If I could choose anybody, of course, I'd choose a Nashvilleian, and I would choose Dolly Parton. If you could get Dolly Parton, she's amazing. I mean, she writes and she sings and she performs, but she is a businesswoman. She has an empire, and she is so smart, and she has the best sense of humor, and she fools people. By the way she looks, people won't take her serious. And she is a very, very good businesswoman. So she'd be an interesting interview.
Wow. And what would be one of the questions I should ask her?
Oh, wow. How does she decide which business deals to do? Because everything is presented to her. You can imagine. I mean, people are coming after her for everything. So how does she discern, which ones she takes on and invests in?
That would be great. So let's try to make that happen. I'd love to
let's set it up. That would be awesome.
Well, this has been so much fun. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. I appreciate it too.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bye-bye.